Hello everyone, welcome back. And you might have seen this if you've been watching my videos. This is a rock I collected a couple of years ago. It did have a different tree on it, but I changed it for this tree last year. This is just an air layer that I took off one of my other trees. Not the greatest of styles, but we'll see what we can do with it. So I'm going to go in, excuse me, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, you see all the new growth in here, we'll get rid of all that, this juvenile foliage, anything that's weak like these bits here, we'll get rid of them, and basically, put on the glasses so I can see, basically go around and just clean up, take off all these dead bits. I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet for the styling of it, but we'll get it all cleaned anyway, and then at least once we've done that, then we can make our decision on what we're going to work with. So you can see here again, in here we have some young foliage all coming out the crotches of the branches. We'll get rid of all that. And then it'd be a bit easier to put the wire on. It's less congested with all this stuff. Plus this is just draining energy out of the tree that we need to kind of keep growing into the main branches. So I'm not too sure yet on what way I'm going to style this, so I'll just, as we go, see what we're looking at. This branch is not great, I'm going to take this one off altogether. There's lots of little branches down here, and again, I'm not going to be using all of them, but until I know exactly what I am going to use, we'll kind of keep as much as we can, as long as we get the crotches cleaned out. So I'll go over the whole tree and I'll do this, because it'll probably take a little while, and then when I've done that I'll come back and have a look and see how we're looking. Okay, so I have to turn the mic in a bit. I have this, oh, it's gone out of focus, come on. Okay, I have this little branch under here, which I don't think I'm going to use that, so I'm going to get rid of that one completely as well. Take that right back. And again, not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this one here, this branch, but we'll give it a clean off and see if we're going to use it or not. Okay, I'll keep going, do the rest of it. I've done this branch, we'll keep going to get the rest done. Okay, so I have it kind of cleaned out now a bit, the bulk of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, the tree's quite wobbly because that's just because there's one wire basically holding it on through this, there's a hole here and it's tied on here onto this, holding on, still wobbles, but it's kind of just because it's pivoting on the thing. But I kind of don't think I can tighten it anymore. The more it doesn't seem to tighten, the more I tighten it does seem to. I could maybe tighten up a tiny bit. We'll see, I'll give it a little tighten and see if it will help. Okay, so I started by putting a couple of pieces of 3mm around the two of these. So I'm hoping that's enough to get me some, strong enough to give me some movement in it. So I'm going to work on this bottom branch first. We'll get that kind of where we want it. hoping the wire will be enough that we've put on it to get some movement into it. So that's kind of giving us some movement going down. So now what I'm going to do is use these branches to make kind of layers down there. We'll worry about the top of the tree afterwards, decide what we're going to do with the top of that. So what I'll do now is I'll wire these branches, decide which ones I want to use, take off the ones I don't. I'm not going to use, and I'll wire them up, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at that and see if we can position them where we want them to be. Okay, so we're getting there with this branch. I have this branch back here as well, which I think I'm probably not going to need that one either. I'll take it off to here, keeping that one, but I don't know if I'm going to need that either. Okay, so maybe what I'll do is just style this branch coming down here now, put a bit of movement into it and whatever, and then, because I'm not sure if I want to keep these up here or whether I'm going to bend this one down to continue the flow up, or what, or am I going to make this as the apex up here. This could end up being the apex of the tree. I was thinking of making this more of the apex, but we'll see. Decisions. Don't know about this branch here. I think I really need to make a decision on whether I'm going to use that as the apex, and then I won't use this, and then I will need this to come on down on top here, or if I'm going to use this. So maybe the next thing to do is to work on this up here, get this all in place, wire this up, and then make our decision on this piece down here. We can maybe start setting some of these. So we'll try and get a bit of up and down movement as well as side to side movement. We'll just kind of create some kind of pads. When I have them all in place, then we'll trim them afterwards. Something like that. It's hard to tell now because there's so much going on. But we'll start cleaning it out, and then you might get to see what I'm trying to achieve. Tips off these. take out in growing down. A bit closer. There. This one we need to kind of let grow out another bit. Take off these bits off the top here. Like that, it'll look a bit sparse at the moment, but once it starts to fill in, kind of getting somewhere now. This one into play. Taking off that one growing down. Okay, so that's starting to take a bit of shape there now. So that would be the kind of, about there would be the front. So our next question is, do we want to use these? Do I want this branch on here? Or am I going to use this as the apex? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is wire this up and we'll see about building an apex out of this. Or am I going to use it to come down here on top? Okay, so we've got the second branch up here wired out. So now I'm just kind of placing it where we want it, the branches. One branch back here. This one is going to be kind of top here. this long one in here, which we don't want this long, but I've just wired it out to the end so we can get it in. Got a couple of bends in it to get in and fill this gap in right here. Now we just need to do the apex. So this is where we're at the moment. Slowly but surely getting there. The wire I've used is slightly thicker than I need, but I'd rather, especially with its first time, use wire that's a little bit thicker. It won't bite in as easy, and it's also a bit easier to see to get off. But for its first styling, I tend to always try and use a little bit thicker wire. Okay, a couple of dead stubs on this. Now we can just clean this off. Let's see if we can make a bit of an apex out of this. Not the strongest of branches, but I'm sure it'll fill out after a while. So we'll get some wire on this now. We have, what's this? I'll put a 2 on this one. Like that, if I was to put it in a show or something, you would use a lot thinner wire. But this is far from ready for a show. It's just getting the initial branch structure started. The birds decided to strip all the moss off it for me again. So I just placed it all back on yesterday. Right, so I'll just wrap this around this trunk on this one just to give it an anchor in. Again, with too many branches on this, but I'd rather keep them on for now, and then we can either cut them off when we decide we don't want them, or we can pluck them out. So just go all the way to the top with this. It's a bit heavy for up here, but it'll be okay. Okay. So this is going to be our apex. I'm hoping this wire is strong enough for this. Maybe need to put another little bit on. What I'll do is I'll wire these other branches, and then that way it'll have added wire to it. See that way. Keeps raining on and off really heavy, so I'll keep pausing the video in between my wiring because it gets so loud, the rain. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at, see if we can set this main branch. It still needs a bit of heavier wire at the bottom, I think. So just put a little bit around just the bottom half of it. So we'll just follow what we already did. Okay, so I think we're more or less done now. Take that bit off there. I will, hopefully you can hear me now with the rain. I will leave this now grow for a while, and then we can go in and do a little bit more pruning where need be. Branch back here, I don't think we need that one. Yeah, it's just a matter of kind of letting it grow now, and then working on keeping it tidy, and eventually we should get it all nicely filled out with nice clean pads, and yeah, it should look okay. So we'll leave it at that for now. We'll keep you updated. I'll bring it in maybe a couple of months, and we'll have another look at it and see how it's growing. We might have lost a branch here and there. We'll see, hopefully not. Shouldn't do, but now and again you can just drop one or two branches when you've been manipulating them a bit. But I think we're looking okay. There's something here. Is it that back? There's that back branch there. It's just sticking out a little bit too far. Just bend it round a bit. Yeah, so that'll be your front. Okay, so we'll leave it at that, and like I said, we'll come back and we'll have another look at it at a late stage, see how it's getting on. But it should fill out quite nicely, and then we can really start working on the pads. So yeah, we'll put that out, let it get with some rain on it, and we'll leave it at that. So as always guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the like button, and yeah, well, like, we may as well plant these as cuttings. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please do, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.